Okay, I'll now be going through questions 25 onwards. Let's look at 25. Which option incorrectly matches? Okay, so incorrectly matches the structure to its description. Okay, so structure, alveolus, one cell thick wall for diffusion of gases. This is correct. Bronchiole has microvilli to sweep dust and debris. This is not correct. The word shouldn't be microvilli, it should be cilia. Microvilli is for absorption. So B is actually the answer already. Okay, what about bronchus? Has cartilage to support structure. This is correct. Needs to keep it open. Trachea has ciliated epithelial cells to remove mucus. Correct. Okay, the word is cilia. Cilia are those microscopic hairs that help to sweep mucus out. Okay, so which is incorrect? B is incorrect. Let's go to question 27. Which statement describes the events happening during inspiration? When you see inspiration, means you're breathing in. Alright, so which one is happening when you breathe in? The answer is 5, 1 and 3. So let's have a look. 5. Contraction of the diaphragm and external intercostal muscles. Okay, so remember when you breathe in, rise. Means that you relax the internal intercostal muscles, you contract the external intercostal muscles. And you also have to contract the diaphragm. So I think maybe raised is better. Okay, so you have to contract the diaphragm and the external intercostal muscles. And this will help to increase the volume of the thoracic cavity and decrease the pressure in the thoracic cavity, and then air will rush in. So that's why you need to start off with number 5. When you contract the diaphragm and the external intercostal muscles, what you do is that you increase the thoracic volume of the thoracic cavity in the lungs. So followed by 1. This will then decrease the pressure inside the lungs and allow below the atmospheric pressure. That's what causes air to rush into the lungs. So 3. Best answer is C. Let's go to question 28. Long-time smoker, severe shortness of breath, diagnosed to have damaged lungs as shown in the diagram. Okay, what's the biggest difference between normal and this diagnosed lung? You see that here all the alveoli, the partitioning has broken down, right? So which option best explains the patient's condition? Why does the patient have lungs where you find the partitioning of the alveoli broken down? This condition actually is called emphysema. So options B and D are possible answers. But what's the cause of it? It's persistent coughing. The harder this person coughs, because he wants to remove all the stuff, all the toxic particles in the lungs, he ends up breaking down the partitioning between the walls through all the violent coughs. So D is the best answer. Let's go to question 29. Okay, now it's a question of cellular respiration, energetics. Which option correctly describes an event that happens in Krebs cycle? Where does Krebs cycle take place? It takes place in the matrix of the mitochondria. Okay. So A. One molecule of acetyl-CoA is oxidized per cycle to produce FAD+. This is not true. FADH is produced. We know that FAD+ will accept electrons to produce FADH. Okay, FAD+ is an electron carrier. And then all this FADH will go to the electron transport chain and give up the electrons there. So A is out. B. 3 molecules of CO2 are used up in the cycle to produce ATP. Used up, this is what's wrong. In the Krebs cycle, actually CO2 is released from the Krebs cycle. So B is wrong. Each cycle produces 3 molecules of reduced NAD. What is reduced NAD? Reduced NAD is actually NADH, right? When you gain a hydrogen, there's a form of reduction. So yes, each cycle produces NADH. And this NADH will be brought to the electron transport chain, where you'll give up its electrons, and you'll flow down the electron transport chain. So C is the answer. Let's look at D. It occurs in the stroma of the mitochondrion. Stroma refers to inside the chloroplast. So this statement is wrong because it's referring to the wrong place. Let's look at question 30. And then another energetics question. The diagram shows the flow of electrons at the inner mitochondrial membrane. Which option shows the correct identities of 1 to 5? Okay, this is in the inner mitochondrial membrane, so it's cellular respiration. What is 1? 1 has to be NADH. Okay, so C and D are possible. When NADH gives up its electrons and hydrogen, it becomes NAD+. You regenerate NAD+, okay, from NADH. What is 3? Well, you see all these gray arrows? These proteins are pumping something from one side to another, and it's pumping H+ ions. Okay, so 2 has to be NAD+, 3 are H+ ions. You do not pump electrons. In fact, you can see that the electrons are just being transferred from protein to protein in the electron transport chain. Next, what is 4? 4 has to be oxygen, which is the final electron acceptor. When it accepts the electrons and H+ ions, it becomes water. So the best answer is C. Okay, and I will stop here. In the next video, I'll go through questions 32 onwards.